Okay, so I did take this out, okay? There's like two kind of half bushings in there, and it's pretty bad. There's rust in there, dude. It's, yeah. The bearings don't look like they're bad, but it definitely needs some grease in there. So we'll just throw some grease in there. I think it'll be fine. There's like no grease in there, okay? So put that back in first. Okay, and then let's inspect this one. I'm afraid this one's gonna fall out once. This one has like no bearings. What the heck? Yeah, this is there's no bearing in here. There's no bearing on this part. That's kind of interesting. Huh. Then that means there must be a bearing on this one. This one probably doesn't move at all. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe. Well, maybe that's why you're not supposed to flip this linkage. These are different. Probably going to get a little bit of dirt in there. It's okay. We're just going to check the bearings out. Try not to pop it out all the way, but it looks like this one needs grease too, so let's see if we can go the other way. Oh, I cannot get it out. I have to like hit it with something. This one does look like it's got grease in it. Yeah, this one has grease in it. Well, we'll see if we can add some more grease, okay? It's good to see, like, over the years, it's thing, you know? This one doesn't move a whole lot, but this one does, so that leads me to believe, is it safe to really flip this linkage, man? This isn't even a bearing, it's just a, well, it's like a bushing, right? Yeah, it's just a bushing. There's just a bunch of grease there, and then it just pivots around this thing. Yeah, okay, whatever, man. All right, so okay, Hazelmaker here. Before we paint the linkage, I'm going to go service it. Okay, so this one where the original top used to be, it's just a like kind of a spacer or a bushing or something. Okay, and it just kind of rides in this channel here. I don't know if there's a bearing in there. Maybe there is. But it just looks like it just kind of just floats in here, so that's probably the easiest one, okay, to do. And then this one, okay, so there's this one, the shock one, okay. There's a small piece, okay. There's a small kind of spacer looking piece here, and then there's a big one, okay. You got to kind of have to take the big one out. Just be careful when you take this out. Yeah, be careful when you put be careful not to lose any of these bearings, because they will come apart, okay? These are needle bearings. Okay, so probably what we want to do is clean all the rust off of this, okay? I'm not going to worry too much about the rust in there. When we put the grease in there, it'll clean that up. So I'm just going to clean this up first. Okay, and do one at a time, okay? Oh yeah, okay, let me put this back in. And then the third one is where the lower one used to be, okay? There's two sets of needle bearings in there, okay? When you push this out, there's a seal here. There's a seal on the other side. I think there's a seal on this one too, but it's hard. Like this one is like a regular bearing seal. Okay, this one doesn't have a seal, so that's probably why it's freaking there's like no grease in there, okay? It's all dried up. It probably did once upon a time. This is still good, okay? This side is still good. There's still grease in there. I'm just going to add a dab of grease in there and just stick it back in there. This one is in great shape still. There's two sets of bearings. There's a set of bearings in here, and there's a set of bearings in here, okay? So just be careful. Just be careful, okay? So what I'm going to use is this stuff, Valvoline Multi-Lube, okay? Since I already have this one out, I'm going to go ahead and do this first. All right, just make sure you get a napkin or something. Push this out just enough so like it'll still press on the bearings a little bit so they don't fall out, okay? Because they will fall out if you're not careful. Okay, so I'm just gonna, so it's still clean in there. The grease looks good. They're even using a black grease. I'm using a black grease too. So this is what I'm using, the Valvoline Multi-Lube Lithium EP grease. Hopefully it's compatible with whatever's in there, okay? And I'm just gonna put some grease in there. Okay, just swish it around a bit. Just pack it in there a little bit. Okay, this one is not so bad, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, we're gonna push this back out here, okay? Okay, and then we're gonna push it out the other end and then do the same thing. So there's two sets of bearings. There's a set of bearings here and there's a set of bearings here. So I'm gonna push this out as far as possible, okay, and then kind of far until, you know, this is very messy too, by the way, so it helps if you push it, okay? Okay, we're gonna add grease to this, swish it around in there, pack it in there, okay? So like I said, we probably didn't even need to do this one, so okay, and then push the little spacer back in there, okay, and then just clean off the excess grease because the excess grease will attract dirt. Okay, so that one is done being serviced. It didn't really need service at all, honestly. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clean off all this kind of grease here. It's clean grease, so it's okay. Okay, I'm going to clean off the excess grease from here. It might be good to have a little bit of grease on the seal to keep dirt from getting in, so it's okay. You don't have to really pick at it too all that much, but just whatever is excessive, get rid of it. Okay. One way you can clean that is just to put the bolt back in there. Okay. Let me go get one of the bolts, because chances are when we put this in, it's gonna force all that grease out anyways. Okay. See. So just take that excess grease and then just wipe it. I think I need a new napkin. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay. It might help to put a little bit of grease on this too. We'll do that when we put it back in for good. Okay, so this one is done. All right. Okay, next part to do is this one. Take out the long piece. Okay. Whoa, yeah, careful. The bearings might come out. I gotta use this one now. Okay, so now what you're gonna want to do is wipe that old grease off of this. Wipe off as much as you can, and then when we put the bolts back, we'll grease them also. So it's old bike, man. It's 10 years old now, so it's seen better days, that's for sure. Yeah, it's even starting to rust a little bit. Okay, so that's pretty clean. And then all we're gonna do is just gonna put grease in there and then put this spacer seal thing back in. It actually does kind of act like a seal too. Okay, so just dab that in there, swish it around. Okay, probably need a little bit more. It's really dry in there, man. See, the other one took like a dab of grease. This one looks like it's gonna take 3 dabs. So definitely, this is you at least want to start greasing you at least want to grease your shock bearing. So it looks like it's been through a lot, you know. Okay. Pack it in there. Okay. And then just put this back in. Okay, swish it around in there a bit. Seems it feels way smoother now. Yeah, look at that. Ooh. Yeah, it was kind of gritty before. Now it's nice. Okay, pull it out again, and then look. It sucked all the grease in. That thing is bone dry. I'm telling you. That's what you don't want to see, right? So I'm just gonna keep on packing this. Like I said, the other one was still in good shape. The seals did a good job of keeping the dirt out. And, you know, the grease was still in there, so I didn't put too much grease in that one. Okay, put this back in. Move it around. Okay, wow, it is a lot smoother. Okay. Okay, I think that's good. Yeah, I think that's good. Let me add a little bit more. but we're probably just adding too much now. It seems like the tolerances are kind of loose for this one. I don't know why. Okay. And we're just going to put this back in. Okay. Swish it around. Okay, and then I think that's good. We're going to wipe off the excess. Oh yeah, you know what? We should have done this after, because now we're getting grease on the part we're going to be painting. Okay, we'll just clean it with some like alcohol or something. Okay, and then go get the bolt for that. Okay, so we're gonna get this bolt and just stick it through the hole. Okay, and then that's our excess there. I'll wipe that all off. So it's a lot of excess. It's okay. I got a big can of grease. All right, and then when we put the bolt back in, we'll grease it. But we'll just leave it like that for now. Okay. Okay, the last part of the service, we're gonna take this guy out. Okay, it looks pretty clean. I'm not gonna mess around with that. And then we're just gonna add some grease in there. Swish it all around so it just kind of floats around in there. I can feel a little air gap in the middle too. So it's like to make sure there's like pressure, there's not too much pressure build up in there, I guess. Or it's a groove for the grease. Maybe that's where you want to put the grease in. Not sure. Let's fill it up with grease. Okay. This will get grease on it when you put it in there anyway, so put that in there. Okay, I don't know if it matters which way. I know, I don't remember the way I did it before. Okay. Move it around a little bit. And I think that should be fine. Let's pull it out. Yeah, let's add just a little bit more. Let's make sure it's full of grease. Stick that sucker back in there. Okay, swish it around. All right, and then just wipe off all the excess. Yes, disgusting. It is. It's gross, but it's clean grease, so I probably should have worn gloves. It's clean grease. All right, I'm gonna throw this napkin away. Okay, there we go. The linkage is serviced. That should be good. Short of you know, taking everything out and cleaning it. This is the next best thing to do. Okay, so I did the least amount of effort to service it. Okay. What we're gonna do is, okay, done. All right, so now I'm gonna clean it up. We're gonna clean up the part that we grinded, and then we're gonna go paint it so it doesn't rust. Okay. All right. Here's me up. Okay. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna paint this. Okay. So we grinded it, so it may start rusting. So we don't want that to happen. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean it. I'm gonna clean it with the wire brush. Actually, before we clean it with the wire brush, we're gonna go use this really fine cartridge tool here, cartridge grinder, and I'm gonna clean off the burrs on it. Okay, just smoothing it out. Yeah, this triangle's a little beat up, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm gonna get this edge here. Just make sure there's no burrs on it. Okay, and then I want to go ahead and get the wire brush there. And we're gonna clean off all this dirt on the sides. Oh no, we're getting grease all over it. Try not to get any grease on it, man. So yeah, I think we should have painted it before we serviced it. I'm not gonna lie. I heard you can do this modification with modification even with the KLX140 shock. So if you wanted to raise the rear, this is what I should have done when I installed the KX front end in the first place. Okay, so now we want to degrease it. So I'm gonna go get some alcohol. I got some alcohol here. Okay, and then we're just gonna run that alcohol over the surface that we're gonna paint. Okay. See, it's still dirty. It's still dirty. Look at that. Okay. I think that should be good. Let's let that dry for a minute, and then in the meantime, let's go do some masking. Okay, I got some good old masking tape here, and then we're just gonna tape off the parts that we don't want to paint. Okay, basically the part with all the grease on it. Okay, I'm just gonna just bend it around here a little bit. Okay, we'll do the same thing for the other side. So that's why it's a good idea to wipe off as much grease as you can. That you want to kind of move it around like so. Let's just put one around here. And when we paint it, we'll just be careful where we paint it, you know. Yeah, I know. So it is kind of messed up too. Kind of like right there. All right, and maybe like right around there. That looks a little beat up there, so we'll do a little touch up on that. Right around here. Okay, that looks good. There's a little piece poking out there, so I'm going to add another piece tape to that. A little piece poking out of that one. It's like surgery, right? I'm prepping it for surgery is what we're doing. Okay, that looks good. So when we paint it, we're going to focus on painting just this exposed part here, okay? Looks good, right? Let's do it. All right. Okay, so the paint I'll be using is some Duplicolor engine enamel with ceramic. I believe this is what I painted the exhaust heat shield with, okay? It's a cast coat aluminum DE1650, okay? It matches the Kawasaki aluminum paint color like pretty damn good, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go take this to my shed, and then we're gonna go paint it. Okay, so there it is. I'm gonna give this a good shake here. Okay, I've been shaking it already, but we'll shake it a little more. I'm gonna get that paint nice and warm. It's pretty cold out, so I don't think it's gonna dry very well. So, but the good thing is I don't even think I have to hang this when I paint it, because I can just put it on. I can just lay it like this. Okay. Here we go. If I get some overspray on it, it's no big deal. Okay. Let it sit for about a minute, and then we'll put another coat. Remember, this is we're just doing this so it'll it won't what's the word? It won't rust. We don't want it to rust. Okay. Put another coat. Okay, that's pretty thick. Well, I hope I'm not getting any paint on my camera. Okay, yeah, so we're done. So I'm gonna go put this back in the garage and just lay it up like this, and then let it dry. All right, here's me go. All right, here's me here. It's been a couple hours, and it's nice and dry now. I used the heat gun to just double check that it was painted, but yeah, it's not wet anymore. Yeah, it's kind of humid and cold out, so, but it dried in my garage. Okay, so now, man. I know the grease. All right, so we're gonna go take all this tape off, and then we're gonna go install this on the bike now. I think it turned out excellent, if I do say so myself. If anything, it would be nice to just take everything out and then just give this thing a touch up. Definitely the triangle here, triangle linkage, it takes a beating. Okay, it's at the bottom of the bike, and it's always moving around. If you do a lot of enduro stuff, this thing takes a beating, okay? It's like rocks and stuff hit it. Okay, so there it is. That's the final product. Looks good, all right? Looks better than new, that's for sure. I don't think this is quite the right paint because it doesn't look as metallic-y as they use like a metallic kind of aluminum color, but whatever, that's fine. All right, so let's go ahead and install this. Cool.